Alright, time to talk about one of my favorite characters in Dragon Ball FighterZ, Android 16. So the weird thing about very fast-paced, combo-friendly or combo-heavy games like Dragon Ball FighterZ, dang, almost any kind of game made by Arc Systems, they're all fast-paced to their own extent. But the same kind of issues that are typically associated with grapplers, even in slow-paced games like Street Fighter, even grapplers in fast-paced games like Android 16 here, they still suffer from it. Slow normals, slow walk speed, and even their dashes, which can be considered subpar compared to other characters. Of course, he still has plenty of his own strengths among his weaknesses. Like for instance, the amount of range on his normals, especially his mediums. Like here's round start. And sure, Bardock is not a very small character, but he's not huge either. And yet the fact that's able to reach him. And what's cool is knowing that you can cancel into other moves or calling on assists as part of his block strings. Yeah, Android 16 has some pretty decent block strings. Obviously if you learn how to use his normals correctly. Damn, -12 on block. One of the weird things about Android 16 is that his down light, it's a low, but for some reason if you go from down light into standing light, you can cancel into it just fine. But if you try to go down or standing into down light, you gotta time it a bit. Like you can't just mash it. You gotta time it a little bit. But the timing isn't like super strict or anything. Just to gain credit on like Goku. Oh wait a minute. Like Goku can go from standing into down light just fine. But you could just immediately mash it. Android 16. If I press down light as soon as I press standing light, it just won't work. I don't know why they designed it like that, but oh well. But again, crouching into standing light, it works just fine. A cool thing about Android 16 is that the third hit on his light auto combo is actually a grab. Well, and cool considering that he's a grappler, but unfortunately that means that if the opponent blocks the first two hits, then on block, his grab will go right through the opponent. Grapples in games like Dragon Ball FighterZ and other Arc System games don't work like how they do in NRS games like Mortal Kombat or Injustice, where you can immediately cancel out of a normal into a command grab, and depending on the normal you use, it'll work just fine. Still, you can get the grab. Or in games like this,
let's go.
It'll just whip right through them. You gotta time it.
I got careless. Let's go.
So no matter what kind of normal you do, one will naturally cancel into a command grab. So just be mindful of that. But he does have at least one command grab that does naturally cancel, only because of how much startup time. But we'll get into that a little later. So yeah, with the right assist, Android 16 can have a pretty decent mix-up game. His air heavy kick, or medium attack, whatever. It has some pretty good range on it. The 14 frame advantage. With careful timing.
You alright? This is it. This is it.
And you can kinda actually no, you can't really use his unblockable at the end. Because again, it'll just go right through the opponent. And even if you can delay the hits between his light auto combo, but even if you delay it, he will still miss. But if you whiff the first two hits, then yeah, he'll grab through the opponent just fine. Because the second hit, the shoulder tackle, it covers pretty decent distance, moves him forward quite a bit. Unfortunately, yeah, it doesn't go super far, it doesn't get you up close to the opponent if you do it at full screen. Of course, then again, with Android 16, you don't really want to be full screen anyway. But the hitbox on it, it doesn't go very far. Like, it'll get you right from around here, it'll get you up close and personal with the opponent. But like I said, the hitbox, it doesn't go very far. But you can still use that to get in, cancel into his grab. But do also be mindful of the fact that his grab, it does switch sides. So if you use it for that, trying to get past an opponent's blocking, you're gonna have to spend meter on vanish. But you can, if you land it on hit, use it to get yourself out of the corner and put your opponent there. And just like that, you got them in the corner. Now what's left to talk about? Oh yeah, his heavies. So I'm not gonna really go through the trouble of trying to show it, but his heavies, they have armor, at least against projectiles. But unfortunately, back like when the game first came out, the armor around whichever startup frame around the armor would activate a lot sooner originally used to. But because of all the nerfs Android 16 kept getting over the years, they nerfed it to the point where the armor comes out much later, and it's specifically against projectiles. I think they took away his ability to armor through normals with his heavies. So yeah, trying to play Android 16 like you probably would someone like Broly, as someone using armor to break through an opponent's offensive. Yeah, you're not really gonna get that with him. And in some ways you're better off if you still have assist, using assist and vanishes and dashing when it's safe to get in on the opponent. Not to mention, his heavies also are quite negative on block and have a good amount of startup time. Yeah, none of his normals are safe on block. Even if you use light from a distance, it's still -4. So yeah, I was able to get it to be slightly -3. So in other words, you really don't want your opponent just blocking, especially if you have no immediate means of dealing with their defense, besides eventually using his command grabs. Or the Dragon Rush. And also the fact that when you knock your opponent into the air, his down heavy So the weird thing with this down heavy in the air, so if you hit the dang it. Shit, I think the opponent has to be in the air as well, at least. Let's see. Yeah, it becomes a knockdown if it hits the opponent. Whereas, as you've seen, if it hits them while they're on the ground, it just does that. It just simply hits them, they bounce, but they recover afterwards. And you can't really naturally combo into it. So yeah, only a few situations in which you can use down heavy if your opponent's in the air as well. And the weird thing is that like the move hits, but yet somehow he's still -2 on frame advantage. So you can't really get too much out of it. Not to mention the amount of startup it has. 28 startup and a super jump. And even if you do it immediately after if you jump and then press it immediately, it's still 28 on startup. His air heavy basically just operates the same way as his heavy on the ground. We're on whiff, standing heavy, -46, air heavy, -43. That's just from a regular jump. Of course, if you do it in the air and you can still recover fast enough and go for your normals or whatever other move. It's not like one of those weird normals where even if you hit the opponent or whiff it, he stays locking in that recovery animation. It's nothing like that. So yeah, not the end of the world. So let's go into his Ki Blast. He doesn't have traditional Ki Blasts like others, like say Goku or Vegeta. Instead, he has his Rocket Punch. And he can either shoot out 1 or 2. Fortunately, you can't really delay it by too much. You can kind of slightly delay them, but that requires a bit of timing.
You weakling! Nice try.
So it's one of those things where you're gonna use it mainly as a way of not really extending combos, but just part of your combo string. So that's what they're primarily used for. But if you're at full screen and you manage to catch your opponent with them, you can vanish and go for a combo. So they have their uses. It's not the end of the world with them. And now we can finally start getting into his special moves. Started with quarter circle forward and quarter circle back S, or Hell Heat. So quarter circle back has him shoot the beam straight down. Quarter circle forward has him shoot it slightly forward. So yeah, obviously they're projectiles, but you're not zoning these. So the weird thing is like they hit multiple times. Quarter circle forward hits 4 times. Quarter circle back 8 times. Originally they both just only hit once. But with them hitting multiple times, that's great as far as it assists, because with the added hits, it kind of gives you a bit more time to set up, at least if you use it as an assist. gives you a bit more time to figure out your combos. Kind of weird, like as an assist, it only hits twice.
You'll pay for that.
See, being able to get all that thanks to Android 16. Whoops. Obviously, with any kind of assist you use as a combo, you gotta time it. Whoops. Very nice. So, as special moves on their own, may not be using it too much, except for combo, or not combo, block strings. Quarter circle forward edge, -1 on hit. So that means your opponent has to have like a 1-frame move, like a level 3 or whatever, to hit you out of it if they block it. Of course, this is one of those kind of moves where as soon as it hits, people are going to think, oh, time to go for level 3. Because not everyone is so willing to throw out level 3s that much. But quarter circle back. 4 frames of advantage. Plus you can use it part of your block string as a quarter circle forward version, just to harass the opponent while they're blocking, or you can go for quarter circle back. Quarter circle back has more startup time, so you can't naturally combo into it. But again, it's safe on block, so that's gonna be what you use to end your block strings if you don't have assist or don't want to use your assist, or if you already use your assist. Though it does have pretty decent, hits a decent distance in front of him. Just again, it's not something you're going to be using for not too much besides his block strings. As you see it right there, it doesn't combo. Whereas that one does combo. So that's what that's mainly for. Just mainly for your block strings. Even though with the quarter circle forward it does combo. But I don't know too many situations where you'd be using it. Maybe as a way to do your combos, especially if you plan on going into advantage. And you don't want to use your command grabs yet. So you can use it for that, for short or basic combos. Yes. So now let's go into what makes him a grappler, his command grabs. So the thing is, he has 3. And unlike Dynamite Driver, flying and gliding power bomb, they both share the same animation when he grabs the opponent, but they count as separate grabs. So for some reason, quarter circle forward on the ground and quarter circle forward in the air, yeah, as the move list shows, they count them as separate command grabs. But for flying power bomb, it can be done on the ground or in the air, but it still count as one move. So you can't really use it multiple times per combo. Whereas you can use his ground grab and his air grab in the same combo. But that's something you want to keep in mind. So for instance, his ground grab, and his air grab, and his anti-air grab, or quarter circle back. Use all 3 grabs in a combo. But doing so, you're gonna need meter for advantage. So quarter circle forward light on the ground,
Nice
17
try.
frames of startup,
Okay.
so it's not very slow or anything.
Let's go.
It's your basic way of either ending short combos or however long the combo is. And this is gonna be one of your main combo enders.
Let's go. Weakling. This is it. Over here. Let's go. Get careless.
Whoops. So from what I've seen people do, you can do his standing heavy or standing medium. Since if standing medium hits opponent mid-air, either raw or they're in a combo, it bounces them. That's really more of a way to set up his air combos or his anti-air grab.
I'll bury you.
Can't really use it for going into his quarter circle forward or dynamite driver as it's referred to.
Let's go.
Even with the heavy version, which is pretty fast. Medium version throws him at the wall. Can't really super dash into it. Well, it depends on how far you and your opponent are from the corner.
Let's go. This is it. No escape.
But mid-string, no, you can't super dash into it. It won't connect.
This is it. Let's go. Over here.
You can banish, but also one thing you can do is go into his quarter circle back or flying power bomb afterwards.
I'll bury you. Let's go. I'll bury you.
So that's one way you can get your combo started.
Over here.
And use it if your opponent's guarding it a lot.
Think again.
Unfortunately, it doesn't have invincibility, so your opponent, if they see it coming, can hit you out of it.
Over here. Think again. Maximum power.
Dang it.
Let's go. I'll bury you. It's over.
Whereas with heavy, you can super dash just fine afterwards. Of course, you can't delay the super dash because you gotta do it immediately.
Bury you. Maximum power. Let's go. Let's go. This is it. Over here. Fly. Down you go. Nice try.
So let's see. Quarter circle forward in the air, gliding power bomb. It works a lot like his dynamite driver, quarter circle forward on the ground. Light grabs in front of him. Medium has him dash forward. Heavy also dashes forward but comes out faster.
Let's go. Let's go.
How about that for dynamite driver?
Okay.
Medium's 26 startup frames. Heavy 24. And if I remember, it should be the same for in the air.
Down you go.
22.
Let's go. I'll bury you.
13. So yeah, so with 13 frames of startup, it comes out faster.
Bury you. Maximum power.
So the thing with his air grab, gliding power bomb, if you do the medium version raw, whoops.
Down you go.
Well, first let me start with the light version. Light version just grabs the opponent in front of him and slams him down. Medium will toss him forward, but it will work just like his medium grab on the ground.
Down you go. Over here.
Either vanish or go for his anti-air grab.
Down you go. I'll bury you.
And that's if you do it raw. Or in other words, basically, well, you can still combo into it if you find some way to combo into the medium version. But anyways, if you combo into the medium version but you haven't done it's like some kind of heavy attack or a cinematic attack of some sort. Like say for instance, if I do something like down heavy, go for advantage, then combo into it, then yeah, he'll just slam him into the ground like the light version. but doing it raw.
No escape.
He grabs him and throws him.
Go, go. Weak.
You alright?
Down you go.
See if I can get it.
You alright?
Dang it. Yeah, I have no idea if there's a way for me to combo into it.
No escape.
Oh, there we go. That was a 6.
You weakly. Switch with me.
Whoops. So because I didn't do no cinematic or any kind of attack that's like up close,
Get away.
it just hits them normally. Oh, that's weird. Then yeah, he'll toss them into the wall. And if I remember, it works the same way for the heavy version. Grabs them and then throws them. And just like the heavy grab on the ground, you can dash into it after the heavy, no problem. So if you're willing to spend that meter for the combo conversion, then yeah, you want to go for heavy. But if you combo into it, whoops.
This is it. No escape.
Yeah, if you combo into heavy, then he just slams him normally. So that's something you just got to be mindful of. If you hit the opponent with a heavy attack of some sort, say for instance like a vanish during a combo or anything, he'll just do the regular slam. But if you don't, then he'll slam them with medium or heavy and then toss them, and you can get a combo extension through that. And plus, unlike medium, heavy can be comboed into, just like the ground version. Yeah, comboing into his grabs isn't difficult or complex at all. Especially if you want to use them to extend your combos and you're willing to spend meter with the heavies, you can combo into them pretty easily because they don't have as much startup time compared to the mediums.
Let's go. Okay.
Actually, I think you can combo into the medium on the ground.
Let's go.
Yeah, you can. I keep forgetting about that. Unfortunately, down medium into grab or standing into grab doesn't combo. Especially during if you hit medium as or standing medium as a juggle. Gotta go like low into rocket punch. But you don't have to hit both rocket punches if you just hit it once. Whoops, wrong button.
Let's go.
You'll combo into it. Same thing if you hit them twice. So yeah, it's not that complex. You don't have to think too hard on it. Like, do I want Rocket Punch to hit twice or once or anything like that? Yeah, with Android 16, he's very simple, has easy execution, unlike other characters like say Vegeta or Gogeta, who can be considered quite gimmicky, especially with the way a lot of their normals work. Android 16 is meant to be straightforward. Oh yeah, also his quarter-cycle back grab. So his anti-air grab. Light version kind of goes almost diagonally up. Medium version, more at a 45-degree angle. Heavy. So what's weird is that heavy will... The heavy version, just like medium, it goes at a 45-degree angle, but again, much faster. That's what it is for the most part for all of his grabs. Heavy is just essentially a faster version of the medium. So for all of them, he just grabs them and slams them.
Nice try.
But for some reason with the heavy version, so he, like I said, it would just grab the opponent, slam them as normal. But unlike medium or light, where the opponent has to be in the air for the grab to work, for the heavy version, it'll do like a sort of like small shockwave that knocks the opponent into the air so that the heavy version can grab them.
Nice try.
It doesn't go out very far. And it comes out pretty quick. So if you're willing to be risky and use your meter, you can kind of use that as part of your kind of use that as part of your block stream. But some people do that. They'll use his anti-air grab as part of his block strings to mix up and confuse the opponent.
Your mission.
So yeah, straightforward, but with or without assist, he still has a way of kind of confusing the opponent, throwing him off a bit, especially for people who may not be too familiar with how 16's block strings may work. So yeah, not the fastest and not the best recovery frames, but you can still mix up your opponent because he at least has a down light that hits low, which again is a big deal for a lot of people in this game, since not every character's down light hits low. And his command grabs, they can be used for combo extensions. So again, unlike NRS games where you can almost immediately go into a grab, cancel into a grab out of a normal on block and go into a command grab successfully, whereas in games like this, you gotta have a delay between the normal when it's blocked going into a command grab. But on the bright side, you can combo into his command grabs. Like, it doesn't have to be just during juggle combos. But even if they're standing, you can go for his light dynamite driver. Even on his light.
Let's go.
Without second light auto combo.
Think again.
Whoops.
Let's go.
Standing light into it.
Think again. Think again.
Oh, for some reason not his down light.
Let's go.
Yeah, down light's the only exception. Medium. And down medium.
Let's go.
And medium into dynamite driver works well during a vanish combo.
Let's go.
You just gotta work on the timing for the down medium because of its startup. And what's good about each of his command grabs is how you can use them to go into his well, not all of them, but 2 out of his 3 supers. So let's go into those. Is Hell's Flash, or Hell Flash, whatever.
Exterminating Hell's Flash.
So it's a projectile, but it hits right in front of him. You're definitely not going to be using this as a full screen punish.
Exterminating Hell's Flash.
But if you do in the air, it covers a bit more ground.
It's over.
But again, because Android 16 is all about hitting the opponent up close and personal, you're always gonna want to be right in front of the opponent.
I got careless.
And kind of cool how his Hell's Flash, it has 16 hits. Kind of funny. Android 16 is level 1, hitting 16 times. Y'all get it. Although what's weird is that if you, I'm playing on the PlayStation 4. So if you do it like the right bumper or R1, it'll do it on the ground just regularly. R2, he'll actually jump up into the air and do the attack. So I think that's for like if you want to punish an opponent, like say for instance they're about to throw out an attack and you want to punish them with a super immediately, then I guess you would use R2 or right trigger. I think part of that is also use that to hit them with it, and then go for another speaker for more damage.
I will locate and eliminate the test.
But for the most part, it's just gonna be as a way to end combos.
Down you go. Exterminating.
Amazing.
But yeah, you can do it in the air, but
It's over.
to get that little extra damage before comboing into it, you're gonna want to use his command grabs afterwards.
It's over.
Like, there's really no reason to combo into it out without using his command grab at the end of each of his combos, as opposed to just doing it in the air. So yeah, his level 1 is meant primarily just for combo enders. So not much more to it than that. And then there's his first level 3, which is a grab itself. Not like a zero frame where they can, or if you do the move, they won't jump out of it. Let's see, let me activate it. See, so the opponent was standing, but even after the flash,
See how you like this.
they can still jump out of it. It's not zero frame like that, which sucks. But because of how quick it comes out, you can combo into it just fine. So anyways, it's an unblockable grab, and it's just Hell's Flash. Like, he just does Hell's Flash at the end. But man, does he look cool. Yeah, specifically referred to as Hell's Flash Full Power. Wait, is that what they call it? Hell's Flash Maximum Output. I just say Hell's Flash Full Power, that's all. So yeah, it's just like the rest of his regular command grabs. It could be comboed into pretty easily, but yeah, there are going to be some situations where even with its startup time and the fact that it's not zero frame, you can still use it to punish certain moves from the opponent, especially if they're not being careful. You can kind of throw them out of their animations. But primarily, it's great for ending combos. Oops. See if I can get a long combo into it. That was weird. Come on.
No escape. Down you go.
Yeah, 5,443. Wait, did I use all 3 of his grabs? Let me see.
Your mission.
Dang it, unfortunately Nappa's command grab knocks him into the air a bit.
This is it. Down you go. Your mission. Down you go. Let's go.
That's all 3 grabs into his auto grab.
Just as calculated.
So that's 4 grabs all into one combo. 5,493. So yeah, comboing all 4 of his grabs together, you're gonna need to take some time practicing how to do his or just practicing comboing in general to get the hang of it if it's your first time. And you're gonna need assist as well. You're not gonna really be able to get it without, unless you use Vanish. But again, It's a lot easier if you have two good assists for comboing. That's basically a general rule with Android 16. Each of his separate grabs, his 3 regular grabs, and his first level 3 grab, all of them can be used in the same combo. And now for his final super, which is also a level 3, which is simply called Last Resort. And so first I want to say the thing about this move is, one, if it does land, it's an instant kill. But if you land it, you can only use it once during the match, as it explains in the special move. If you succeed, you will be unable to use it again in the same match. Kind of like Frieza's Golden Frieza level 3, which is stupid how that works. Oh well. So on its own, here it is right there. So yeah, he stands there for a good while, even before the Super Flash.
I have no other option.
And even with that, it's still a good amount of startup time before he grabs the opponent.
No other option.
Again, it has more range by default than his first level 3,
Like this.
but you ain't comboing into it.
This is it. I have no other option.
And even then, by the time the opponent lands off an air grab, it won't land.
I have no other option.
So yeah, there's a few tricks, a few techniques that you could probably use to set it up, even with assist to combo. Well, you can't combo into it, but you can still use as far as getting the opponent to recover but still get hit by the attack. That's unfortunate.
Give me your best.
Oh, that one looks like it worked. Whoops. That actually missed. Ah, keep doing the wrong button. Man, even if I do get to hit properly. Yeah, no matter how hard I try, even if it keeps them in place. Well, anyways, let's just show the animation and show what I mean by it being an instant kill. If I remember, I think this is the only move in the whole game that's an instant kill. Look at that, 50,000. But as you can see, his health is reduced by 1 hit. Or basically he has only 1 hit point. Literally the weakest attack in the whole game, whichever that may be, will kill him. But he does have a huge amount of, basically from the moment the move starts to the point where he's trying to grab at the opponent, it has full invincibility. So if you're standing, you're not in the middle of some other attack.
I have no other option.
Oh, but you can't cancel it, never mind. So say for instance, like you throw something out and your opponent tries to go for a level 3, especially if it's a projectile level 3, like Gohan's father-son Kamehameha, or a Cell's solar Kamehameha. So many Kamehameha ways in this game. So then throughout the whole time they're throwing out that level 3, especially level 3 beams. If you're within range of the grab, you could throw it out.
I have no other option.
And you can grab him and go for the kill. Although I've seen some people where they're doing a combo with Android 16 on the character, and so they will hit the opponent in a way where by the time they land or by the time they recover, then he'll be able to get the kill. Whoops.
This is it. Nice.
Let's see.
Down you go. I have no other option.
Maximum power!
Yes, Grandma? Okay.
Down you go. Nice try.
Had a little bit of an interruption. But as you can see, if you still have assist on the field, and it's not just you being down to Android 16, you can kind of like use their assist like Grapplers to cover the field, make it difficult for your opponent to see, and go for his level 3 as they're recovering. Dang.
This is it. Down you go.
So yeah, a lot of timing and careful planning is going to be needed if you're going to use some kind of setup. Because again, no matter what, you can't combo into it, but you can use setups to get it to land raw. And even with it having full invincibility until the very last recovery frame from it,
I have no other option.
or the last active frame, or your opponent's throwing out a whole bunch of projectiles and they're not being careful, they're not paying attention, and you can kind of use it to surprise them. Or if they're doing a move to try and punish you that has a lot of either a lot of startup frame itself or a lot of active frames.
I have no other option.
So yeah, that's part of the reason why it's called Last Resort. This is literally a move you will only want to use if you're desperate, or if you truly believe you can get it to land. And you're better off saving it for the last enemy on the field. Or say for instance you're in a situation where there's this person you're fighting, the opponent has a lot more health than you, and you're desperate to kill this character in particular, but you're willing to sacrifice Android 16 so you can do something like that. Use his level 3, and even if Android 16 dies, you'll still have other characters to come in and take care of the rest.
I have no other option.
Or you can do the move and even with his one hit of health, whatever amount of health he had prior to doing the move, however much blue health he has, you can just activate the Ultra Spark, or what's it called? Sparking Blast. Whatever, I'm just gonna stay calling it Ultra Spark. And he will recover health super fast. Even faster than usual when you activate it, even level 1 Ultra Spark. But again, that's part of the reason why it's called Last Resort. It's more of a desperation move. Or you can use it to try to troll the opponent if you can get it to land. But it's not going to be a move you're going to see expert 16 players throw out too much, as opposed to its other level 3, which is a lot faster and more combo friendly. So that's all I really have to say with Android 16. I'm not really going to go over his assist that much, just really covering what he can do when he is out on the field by himself or with assists. So every character in this game is good if they have assists that can back them up, but Android 16, if he's by himself, it's not exactly the end of the world, but he would struggle, especially if he's the last one against all three on the opposite side. But if you play him carefully, you can use him to make some pretty interesting and cool comebacks. And each of his grabs, the light, medium, heavy version of every grab he has, it all serves their purposes, and they all have their individual uses. So he's a very fun character in my opinion. It's unfortunate all the nerfs he's got throughout every patch, but with him it's not the end of the world. So that's all I have to say about him for now. In the next video I'll cover But whichever version, it will either be Z or S Broly. Yeah, most likely it'll be S Broly next. So look forward to that next video, and y'all have a good day.